For years now, Mali has been gripped by security crisis and political uncertainty. The military junta, which took over after a coup in 2020, has been delaying the transition to democracy. Calls to bring the country back to a constitutional order have been shut down by the Mali junta. Mali's former Prime Minister Moussa Mara spoke to me on the sidelines of the Firstpost Idea Spot at the Raisina Dialogue 2025. He said that the non-constitutional order in Mali was contributing to terrorism and also described the country's withdrawal of ECOWAS as unfortunate. Here's the complete conversation. Welcome to Raisina Dialogue Idea Spot on Firstpost. Joining us today is former Prime Minister of Mali, His Excellency Moussa Mara. So welcome to the conversation, to Firstpost.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss.
So beginning with the current situation in Mali, Mali is currently battling a terror threat. And reports say that over 600,000 people have been displaced. What do you make of Mali's anti-terror fight?
The first things, before talking about terrorism issue is non-constitutional order now, because this situation also contributes to spread the threat of the terrorism over our territory, even outside our country, to the neighboring country. We have to deal with this issue in order to strengthen the state and to strengthen the society. Fighting against terrorism needs unity between state and society together. It is not only a question of army, defense forces. It is not only a question of institution. It is also a question of society. The people, all people involved to fight against the terrorism issue. We have to deal with all of these issues. And in the past, the country was weakened by governance, corruption, the inability of the state to provide services, basic services, justice, the fairness, the unfairness of justice. All of that combined weaken the country. And now we have to deal with all of this issue.
So speaking of strength, as you mentioned, last year Mali withdrew out of ECOWAS.
Yes.
So what is your view on that decision?
It was unfortunate. It was sad. And I didn't share this decision. Africa should be united and integrated. And unity of Africa means African Union. In the western part, where we are, it's ECOWAS. ECOWAS is the regional body. And we should strengthen ECOWAS. We shouldn't disintegrate it, ECOWAS. I didn't share. And it was the decision taken by the militaries, the Junta. That's why I started by saying our first goal now is to leave from the non-constitutional order, to go to the constitutional order, to get civilian leading the country, to get a free election, the resettling of a democracy, and to put back the army to the battlefield and to their organization. The military shouldn't lead the country now in this current period. This is what we should do. And then maybe we can come back to this decision, which is not in the interest of the country and which is not, of course, in the interest of the continent.
Continuing with the military, you're speaking about the front lines. France has completely withdrawn its troops from Mali. Do you see Russia taking up that space? And if they do, what are the repercussions?
I think now we are in the period we should take our sovereignty on our own, not firing France and hiring Russia in its place. This is not good for a sovereignty. We cannot talk about sovereignty and replace one power by one other external power. This is not the right way. The right way is to keep our sovereignty on our own, on our hands.
Sovereignty comes with elections. The junta promised elections and until now they've been delayed.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes. How do you see going forward? How is it going to affect the economic prospects of the country?
There is no hope without the comeback to the constitutional order. There is no hope without free and fair election. There is no hope with military order. Now the country is struggling with a different type of crisis, economical crisis, power shortage. We have only 8 hours power a day in the capital city of the country. In the 21st century, this is something unbelievable. We have to try to find a way to convince first the militaries. It is not in the interest of the country. It is not in their interest to stay in the power and continuing to do badly the running of the country. They have to go. They have to organize the election and to go to their activity as the militaries. This is the first thing. The second, once we get the constitutional order done, we can work on partnership of the neighboring country. Now we have a lot of problem with our neighboring country, with ECOWAS, with Ivory Coast, with Senegal. We have to resettle a new kind of partnership with our neighboring country, regional bodies, and an international organization like IMF, World Bank. All of them are needed to help Mali to go through this horrible situation. And we have to do that in order and step by step. But the first is convince military, go. Let the country going on is a future with stability, security, constitutional order, political activity, and democracy.
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes.
Do you think Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You ask me once again the same question.
Because you've not answered my question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.